Okay.
Super. Welcome, everybody, to today's session. We're doing lever 3 of the 5 levers of mortgage business growth. And so the first thing we like to do is introduce ourselves. I'm Steve Grady. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Unify. And one of the things that we like to do is always talk a little bit about us and some of our hobbies and who we are. And I like to actually sing in a barbershop quartet, as well as a barbershop course up here in Minnesota. And of course, during the time of COVID, that was all done kind of over Zoom meetings, which didn't work at all. So now that everybody's a little bit better and we've got shots, we're actually singing live again. So it's a real thrill to entertain. We're gonna do some shows actually here in August up in Minneapolis area. So it's fun to get it back out and kind of share that joy with everybody. Earl?
I'm the director of training here, Earl McLean, and I'm showing you a very, very old picture. But I see that happen on real estate business cards all the time, so I don't feel bad about it. One of the things that I like doing is I like jamming with my old band friends. I've been in bands, in and out of bands all my life. I play the guitar, I sing lead vocals, and we still get together. It's been about 8 years since I've actually belonged to a band called the Lost Boys. And we didn't call ourselves the Lost Boys after the vampire movie, though. We call ourselves the Lost Boys because of the Peter Pan movie. The boys that Neverland, that never grew up, they were called the Lost Boys, and we were all over 50. So anyway, I like jamming with them, and I've been working here with Cross Media for, gosh, 5 years, and have seen a lot of things happen, a lot of great features, and some of the greatest ones I think have happened within the last year. So we're going to kind of be going through some of that today. That's it, Steve.
Super. Thanks, Earl. So let's go and talk here a little bit about what is business growth. As we're going through these 5 key levers of growth, we've already talked about how to grow funded loan volume and some of the capabilities inside Unify to help you do that. And then we looked at being more productive, effective, and efficient. So there's a lot of issues about getting more time back in your day. And we kind of went through the tools that you can automate a lot of things, have stuff going on behind the scenes, be able to access your data using our mobile app and things to just really make it easier, work smarter, and work less. And so today we're going to focus on improving your customer experience, which is fundamental to growth. Not only do you want happy clients as they go through the loan process, but we'll talk about post-close, the kinds of things you can do to stay in touch with them so that they come back to you for their next loan, as well as refer you to others, because we know how golden those referrals from happy clients are. So we'll talk about how to do that. Going forward then, how to build strong teams and collaboration. Again, how can you automate some things and make sure that your processes are well framed, but also execute really well so nothing falls through the cracks. Because the worst thing you need to do is go back to your customer and say, I forgot this or this issue, or somebody didn't get this in time. And we all want great closings, and we all want to collaborate well to get it across the line. So we're going to talk about that in August. And then in September, we'll be talking about really how to have high quality, compliant, consistent processes. We've got a lot of new tools in today's world, like video marketing and text messaging. You have to worry about TCPA compliance and other things, but you just want to make sure that everything you do is of high quality and it's consistent so you can repeat it. We know the great companies of the world perfect their processes and systems, delivering a high product over and over again in a consistent fashion, which will certainly, again, go back to number 1, grow funded loan volume, but it'll also help with the net operating income for your organizations as well. So with that, I'm going to have Earl just kind of go through just quickly, highlight again some of the key features that are in the Unify platform that you all have. And then we're going to drill down today and actually show you some examples in the platform of how we're leveraging some of this improved customer experience. So Earl, maybe you could just walk around the wheel super quick here.
Sure. I'll just give you a real high level overview. First of all, we are more than just a CRM, but we are a full CRM, customer relationship management system. So we help you manage all the activities that you need to within that system. And like, for example, marketing automation. We have done for you content, and we have content that you can plug into automated email campaigns that go out for you. And we'll talk a little bit more. I think that's one of the parts that we're going to be talking about a little deeper today. So I won't go into it too much. Text messaging, video marketing. These are things that a lot of loan officers pay extra subscriptions for, to BombBomb or some other type of text messaging feature. It's included in your platform. LOS and POS integrations. Because we integrate with your LOS system, we're able to do a lot of things with that data and even uncover some potential lending opportunities for you. And then more recently, we've added on some POS integrations with Simple Nexus and Flowify, where you can actually start originating a loan from Unify and push it into your LOS. So that's kind of cool too. Hot alerts, client in market. If any of you have looked at your dashboards, and especially those, I know that we got a couple people here from the mortgage firm, for example, that are taking advantage of our mortgage inquiry alert program. I'll tell you, these are some of the hottest leads that you're ever going to see, because we take the clients or the contacts in your database, we monitor them through Experian, we have a relationship with them, and we can tell you when they go out and have mortgage credit pull with a competitor. Basically, they've raised their hand. And so things like rate savings alerts will pop up on your dashboard. You'll know when your clients have a listing for sale. You'll know when they actually have a move update card that's filled out with the United States Post Office. So things like that, we give you as much information as we can to try to promote new hot alerts for you. Our sales pipeline. Sales pipeline system is phenomenal. We're probably not going to talk too much about that today, but we do have a sales pipeline system. And I think we are going to talk a little bit about one of the systems that we're just now beginning to roll out, and I'm not going to spoil it yet. Full mobile app. If you have not downloaded our mobile app, go to your login page, whether that be the mortgagefirm.biz or whether that be myunifycrm.com, whatever page that you go to log into. Go to it on your phone in a browser, and there are 2 badges there that will allow you to download the mobile app. Then you will never have to open it up in a browser again. The mobile app does almost everything you can do on the desktop site. So check that out if you've not checked that out yet. It will ask you for a domain, and just use whatever domain you log into. Okay, if it's the mortgagefirm.biz or with myunifycrm.com, whatever that is, use that as the domain. And then your username and password will get you in there. Automated workflows. We've got a really cool feature that this one has just come out in the last year that will take triggers and it will create actions off those triggers. And you can trigger it off of loan status. You can trigger off of a new lead that comes in. You can trigger off of some of the alerts on the dashboard, okay, which are really cool. One of the hottest ones, I think, is that EPO alert. If you are doing our mortgage inquiry alert program, we alert you when someone in your database has pulled mortgage credit with a competitor within 6 months of closing a loan with you. It's called an early payoff alert. That's important because that could mean a chargeback. And so you could set up a workflow that would text you the minute someone gets that alert, when you get that alert to your dashboard. So really, really strong. We also, let's see, have a client direct mail campaign. So if you are interested in doing a direct mail postcard campaign, we're going to show you a little bit about what the post-close campaign looks like today. We have a lot of different campaigns that are post-close campaigns that are easy to access, easy to send out, and inexpensive. Literally, you can send one postcard out for $1 to one client. Okay, so things like that. We also have we are SOC 2 Type 2 compliant. That means that we are under some of the highest security of any company you possibly have. We go through great lengths in order to do that, and I'm going to find somebody for a second. Anyway, we do go through great lengths to make sure that we maintain that SOC 2 compliance. I'm just going to go ahead and mute everybody if you guys don't mind here. Okay, and if you have a question, you're welcome to unmute. You can unmute yourselves. But our compliance and our security is some of the highest in the corporate world. We use military grade encryption for all of our data exchange, and our SOC 2 compliance gives us extremely high security within our company, and our employees have to attend, security trainings every year. And our live training and support. It's funny because I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, well, you guys actually answer the phone when we call. We do. Yeah, we do answer the phone. And if you submit a support ticket, we will usually get back to you within 15 minutes. And so our live training and support is really strong. If you're ever in the site and you're doing something and you get stuck, just pick up the phone. On every page, you'll see on the left nav bar, right at the bottom, our support number and our email address is there if you'd rather open up a ticket. Okay, Steve, that's a pretty high level overview of what Unify has to offer.
Super, Earl. Thanks. So let's go ahead and dive in now real quickly and talk about 5 things we wanted to cover off today on how to improve your customer service. So on the next slide, we're going to speak to these in kind. The first area we have is educate as a trusted advisor. The function that you serve is to really help people navigate this loan experience. We know that for most people, their home and home mortgage is one of the biggest financial transactions they have, and the biggest financial asset. It's really important for them to make sure that they have someone who has their best interests at heart and can really be trusted. And so part of the process is you start to engage with someone you don't know. So we're kind of at the top of the prospect funnel, where if you've got some leads that you're working and you're nurturing, the kind of content you want to send out and the content that we've created in the Done For You libraries, it really speaks to, hey, this is the kind of information I think is really important for you to know. And then they start saying, hey, Joan sends great content about these kind of things that I'm interested in. I'm really starting to like this person because they're sending me information that's really useful to me. And then because I found this value, I start to really, really trust you. So as I'm ready now to pull the trigger on moving forward on a loan, you know, Joan's the first person that I'm really going to call to be able to move forward. And so we construct our content, and you need to take a look at your campaigns to kind of go through this process of how do they know you, how do they like you, because you're giving them things for free. So using the concept of reciprocity, not asking anything in return other than I'm really help, you know, I want to be known as your best guide, and I'll show you that I can really help you in these ways. And then they begin to trust you. The second line here is just as important as you think about as you go to market, is what is your unique value? I know this can be a little hard because sometimes it feels like maybe the mortgage is kind of a commodity. I can get it from all these different places. Aren't they all the same? And of course, we know that's not the case. So there's some attributes about you personally that are unique. You know, maybe you have 100% response rate on getting back to everybody in time. You really are an expert and have certain certifications or participate in certain industry associations, and you're well known in the industry for being a thought leader. Your firm may have some really interesting products and approaches that others don't to provide a competitive advantage. You need to be able to gather those, and I would challenge you to figure out what are your 3 uniques between yourself and your company. Now, each of those may not be unique. In other words, you know, everybody might have, you know, might be some other competitors that have a particular offering a product that's similar to yours. But if you take that and a couple of your key personal attributes in terms of how you serve your clients and the ways you do business, some of the tools that you have and other software that you've bolted together your company supports to maybe really get loans through process very quickly. Identify what that is and amplify that in your outbound to say, I really help you. And that's always a great way to start is I help you accomplish a great loan because I have these 3 uniques. So really bring these to bear. I challenge each of you on today's session to figure out what your 3 uniques are and feel comfortable talking about how they serve your clients, both as they, you know, first time through the system, and of course, how you serve post-close your new customers for their next loan. Because a lot of people will, you know, refi, they'll move, they'll do things. Isn't it be great to write all their loans for the lifetime of their financial transactions? So that concept of the 3 uniques is really important, and you want to be able to implement that and talk about that and amplify it in your marketing. The next one is making sure your loan process is low stress. And one of the ways that Unify can help you with that, and Earl will speak to, are in-process communications. Being able, because we know and we're tied to the LOS, where things are, we're able to notify not only your client, but also potentially realtor partners and other folks that the loan is moving through these stages. And that really reduces the stress. And it's kind of a joy if I know that you're looking out for my best interest by telling me this is what's going on. This is the process. There's all the speed bumps and issues in these things, but as long as they kind of know you're looking out for them and that they're aware of what's going on, that's really important because that takes stress out of the loan process. And if you can get out to the end and go, that wasn't really nearly as bad as I thought it would be, then you can really have a happy client and really have a wonderful customer experience. Other ways to do easy to do business with. We're going to show you one today called pre-qualified prospects, where now you can actually send an email out to your contacts and say, if you're ready to move forward, you can get pre-qualified right now. And we have an agreement with Experian where when we already know what their name is because it's your contact. It fills out the form for them. They've got a couple other attributes. They hit yes, it goes off. The information comes immediately back, and you're notified when that person has been pre-qualified and what the results are given your criteria. So you're pre-qualified, or you may need more information. But in either case, you're going to reach out. These are super high intent, and they're exclusive to you because this is your contact list. So it's a fantastic way to really start the ball rolling, and what an easy way to get going with you, and makes you really super easy to do business with right there on the front end as they start to initiate the process. And then the last one is, once you're through the loan process and they're happily living in their house with their new mortgage, is keeping in touch post-close, because we're really looking to nurture referrals. How do I stay in front of them? How do they remember who we are? A lot of times the loans get sold or serviced by somebody else. And a lot of times, I know, Earl, maybe you can anecdotally speak to this after I stop here, but folks may not know or forget who wrote my loan, and I know it's being serviced by Wells Fargo. Maybe I should talk to Wells Fargo. Well, you don't want that to happen. So it's really important to stay with them, continue to educate, continue to provide value, some of the content that's in the marketing library, but also direct mail and postcards. So let's, Earl, maybe you could speak real quick to what happened with your wife and your story on
Yeah,
post-close.
absolutely. It's kind of interesting because my wife happens to be with a company that has our product, and so she gets the mortgage inquiry alerts whenever somebody goes out and has credit pulled with a competitor. There was one in particular that she looked at, and she goes, "We had a really good deal. They were a great client. It went smoothly. They were super happy. Why did they go someplace else?" Well, the MBA put some stats out a few years ago that said that 62% of your borrowers, these are people that you actually did loans for, not just your contacts, everybody in your database, but people you've done loans for. 62% of them are going to go someplace else for the next loan because they forget their loan officer after 18 months. 18 months, that short of a period of time. So she came downstairs. She told me, she said, "You'd be so proud of me." I said, "What?" She goes, "I called them when it was mortgage inquiry alerts. It was a deal that I had a few years ago and it went really great. So I called them." And I said, "Well, what happened?" She goes, "I stole it back from Wells Fargo." But what the interesting part was what they said. They said, "We are so excited that you called because we really enjoyed doing business with you. We loved having you as our loan officer. Can you still be our loan officer?" They were disappointed that they had sold the loan to Wells Fargo, and these folks thought that they were supposed to go through Wells Fargo now. They thought they were their representative. Well, naturally, Wells Fargo's going to make them feel that way. So it's not because they didn't like you. It's not because they didn't like what you did for them. They simply thought that they were supposed to go with the servicer. And that happens. I've heard that story time and time again. So if you guys are taking advantage of the mortgage inquiry alert program, if your company is participating, then don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call. Have a casual conversation. Don't mention the alert. Just have a casual conversation. That's what she did. "Hi, how you doing? It's been a long time. What's been going on?" "Oh, we're so happy you called because we were just looking at doing another loan. Can you still be our loan officer?" That was my wife. She's been doing loans for 30 years. And so it was really kind of eye-opening for her, I think.
Yeah. And that's an important feature. The other mix, as we'll talk about here in a few minutes, is just other ways for reach out. If we take a look at the next slide, I wanted to highlight something with everybody here, and that is using the entire mix of communication channels. I know it's kind of a busy slide, but if you kind of focus in here, you see this is information from the Direct Marketing Association and 3 other companies that have the data to show the effectivity of different reach out mechanisms. The 4 over on the left here, direct mail, oversized mail, postcards, and catalogs, show on average about a 3.5 to 4% response rate. And that's for your engaged list. That's kind of the people that you know and have worked with. And then prospects are people you haven't worked with. So basically cold. You can see, it's almost a 2.5, 3.5 times difference between people who kind of know you and people who don't. But you can still see the effectivity in the response rates. Now, email is way down there. You see it's like 0.12. So it's like 40 times less effective. Now, is it cheaper? Can you send a lot more of it? Sure, absolutely. And should it be in your mix? Yes. But you can see how it's not particularly effective by comparison. And so you think if you're only just sending emails out there, it's a little bit of a spray and pray. And I think it really behooves you to look at some other options to reach out to folks. The big one is over here in the telephone, picking up the phone, calling people, reaching out. You can see, against direct mail, it's almost a 3 to 4 times more effective way to reach people. And you can see how key it is if you get somebody on the telephone as a prospect. That's the second highest way to get any, and certainly the highest way working with prospects is if you can get a phone number and you can reach out and call and talk to them and start establishing, remember that know, like, trust, to say, what are you looking at? How can I help you? I can guide you through the process. Let's kind of talk about what your issues are and how you want to get there. What are your dreams? Very super effective. And over on the right are kind of display ads, paid search, which might be Facebook and maybe some Google ads and things. Again, relatively low effectivity. And now with some of the recent changes in both Facebook algorithms and Google, they're even less effective in some ways. And so, not that I wouldn't encourage you, maybe your company is doing some of that in the mix. You do have to have a bit of a presence where, again, you're promoting your know, like, trust on your Facebook page and things in your social media. But in terms of really driving response, it's way down in the noise. So as you look at this, the key takeaway is, what are you doing with some direct mail with your clients? Email you got to have, as well as phone. So you got to get kind of the whole mix. And your unified platform gives you access to all of these. So Earl, I'm gonna turn it over to you, and maybe we can actually look at some key areas and light up the system here and take a look at things.
Absolutely. So the areas that we're going to kind of look at right now is we're going to look at what kind of marketing automation is going on for you right now. If it's set up. Now, I'll show you quickly how to set something up in here regarding your concierge services. Those are your emails that go out for birthdays, holidays, that type of thing, newsletters. We'll look at some of those hot prospect alerts. And I'm going to be using 2 different platforms because our new program that Steve just mentioned to you, the PQP, the Pre-Qualified Prospects Program, it's not live yet. And so I'm going to take you into a demo site where we can actually look at a little bit of that. So I may have to pop back and forth into a different platform, but we'll show you some of those hot prospects alerts. And then client retention. What are we doing in that area? How are we able to help you with like post-close and so forth so that those people don't go someplace else for their next loan? All right. So let me just pop out of here real quick. I'm going to go into the Unified CRM platform. And one of the first areas I want to look at is marketing automation. Okay. You have within your loan files, and when you have a loan that's in process, it lands in our pipeline over here. Okay. So when you start a loan file, it goes to prospects. But when it advances to that pipeline folder, that's when your IPCs go into play. Okay, the IPCs can be viewed if you go to a loan, and all it is a matter of, here we go already. I'm in the other platform. Hang on just a second. Let me pop something over real fast. And I'm going to go over here and pop back into my Unify. Okay, sorry about that, guys. No, I don't want to set that as a default. I'm going to drag this over here while I'm doing this. I forgot the PQP platform is only on this demo site over here within Unify. And so I've got to pop back into my Kristen Little account. If any of you have ever been on one of my trainings before, you'll know that I demo things through a Kristen Little account, who is a fictitious loan officer with a fictitious database. Okay, so you don't have to worry about any kind of live data being showed there. Okay, so that's usually what I use. Here she is right here. And here we go. There we go. All right. So on the dashboard alerts, okay, when we go, I was talking about loan files. That's what I was talking about. When you go into my pipeline and you have loan data in here, okay, you'll have loan data in prospects, depending on where it lives in your LOS will depend on where it lives here. But when it falls into my pipeline, it's in the processing phase. In processing, if you click on a loan number, It'll take you right straight to the loan details, but right up here, this communications tab shows you the different touch points that will actually send automated emails based on these triggers. And we trigger off of some of the LOSs, we trigger off of a field entry. Some of them we trigger off of an actual status that you set the loan at. So depending on what LOS you use will depend on where that trigger is. But when we go through the onboarding process with new companies, we set this up custom for you. And you'll have at least 7 probably of these. I've seen some companies have less, but you'll have at least 7 of these touch points that automatically go out to different parties involved in the transaction, letting you know where the loan is in process. If you want to see these communications, go to your marketing, click on campaign library, and right down here at the bottom, you'll see this link that says system communications. Now you notice I had 8 touch points on that, but I've got 34 communications that go out on those 8 touch points. The reason for that is that then just click into there and click milestone emails. They are written for the intended recipient. So there's a welcome that goes to the co-borrower. You get a copy of it. There's also one that goes to the borrower. There's a buyer's agent with the sent to processing, and yours could be different than these, but we select different copy for the different recipients so that it's much more personal. It really looks like it came from you, and you're updating people on the status of their loan. Let's just click into one of these sent to processing, and I'll give you an idea of what they look like. This is a token that tells our system to put your loan is being processed in the subject line. So the email actually starts here. Your loan is being processed, dear, and it brings in their first name, of course. Your loan is now in our processing department. After our processor completes the review, we may contact you in the event additional items are needed. We know that that's a really hard point sometimes for loan officers because they have to keep asking for additional items. This preps your client for that ask, okay? So anyway, those processes happen automatically on your behalf. So Unify is working for you in the background. Another way that we work for you in the background is through the marketing concierge. This is where you will set up all of your birthday, holiday, time changes, newsletters, things like that. This is a simple process to get going, folks. And we don't just do emails either. We have a whole library of video emails now for different holidays. And so you may want to check those out because there's a higher open rate on video email than there is on standard email. But these are really simple to set up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this birthday email and I'm going to reset it so you can see how simple this is. And if you need help setting these up, we'd be more than happy to help you. Just call the support department. You'll see the number right down here. Call the customer support department, tell them, say, Earl said you guys would set up the standard emails for me in my marketing concierge, and they will, okay? They'll go and set up the main 12 or 13 that we usually set up in onboarding for many of our companies. But creating a new campaign means I want to create a new service. I'm going to select that service from this dropdown. In this case, let's go to the video. Let's go to the birthday video email, okay? Once I select that, you're going to see a service description. It'll tell you what the service does. And then you select the campaign for that service. That means what email do I want to send? You click on that button, it takes you right into our birthday video emails. If I'd done a standard email, it would have taken me into my standard email selections. Okay, then you can simply just select which one you want. I'm going to go with this presents one right here. If you want to view this, just click into it. And this is what your customer will see on their birthday. Happy birthday, may all of your wishes come true. And it brings in their first name. If they click on that email, it takes them to our servers where they can actually play that video email. Okay, and then it comes up and says happy birthday. There we go. Okay, that's enough, right? But anyway, it will actually play that for them. Your information will be automatically brought into this web page from your profile. Okay, so that's how simple it is to set these up. You select it, and then you select it by hitting this button right here, select campaign. You'll see it pop into your little wizard. So now we've got our service set up. We've chosen our campaign, which birthday email we're going to send out. Now it's just a matter of just selecting your audience. All right. Now there are some of the campaigns like the weekly financial focus newsletter. That's an industry related newsletter. If you set that one up, don't send it to your entire database. You'll get a bunch of opt-outs. Most of your contacts don't care about the mortgage industry unless they're actually doing a mortgage. But real estate agents love this, okay? So you would do the selected company category of realtor partner, all right? That's what you would use if you were sending to the weekly financial focus. Most of the others, you can send to everybody. Make sure it says running, click save, and that's all there is to it. I've set up my whole birthday video email. We also give you a modified date over here, when it was created and when it was modified. If you want to change the look of that email next year, just go by the modified date. Go in, click edit, select a new campaign right here, make it be a different one maybe, select that for your campaign, and then click save and you're done. That's how simple it is to update your marketing. Okay, so all of these will be running on your behalf. This is all marketing automation. That good? Okay, the next one, we were going to talk about those hot prospect alerts. So I'm going to go to Kristen Little's dashboard. And if any of you have ever looked at your dashboard, you may notice that we do rate savings alerts. We do ARM reset alerts. These fire 6 months prior to the reset. But the rate savings alerts are kind of special. We monitor your closed loan files, and you'll find them over here in closed loans. But we monitor those rates that people are paying currently, and we compare those to the current rate that Optimal Blue gives us. They give us a daily rate, and it is a general rate, so don't expect it to be exactly what you can offer today. But you set a differential in your preferences, and you'll find the preferences right down here. And all you got to do is click on it. You'll see it. It's plain as day. You set those preferences. Oh, I'll go ahead and click in there. Right here. You can set those preferences wherever you want. So if you can get pretty close to that Optimal Blue rate, these are pretty good differentials to set. On a 225,000 or less, set it at 1%. 3/4 up to a jumbo, and then jumbo and over, set it at 0.5 point. You can still save people money. I've seen some people set these lower. I've seen some people set them higher. And I think a lot of that has to do with how close they can get to that Optimal Blue rate. Okay. Once they are set, then anybody in your database that we're monitoring that closed loan rate on, we compare it on a daily basis to the Optimal Blue rate. And when they meet that differential, we fire off this rate savings alert. Okay. Now, a really cool thing you can do with this rate savings alert is you can click into a name of a borrower anywhere in the site, click in their last name, and you'll see this refi tool right down here. This will be the latest loan information that you did for these people. If you click into this refi tool, it will take them to a calculator that automatically calculates out for you based on that Optimal Blue rate, which of course you can change if you need to, update it, and all the numbers change. But it does those calculations. I see my wife punching in her calculator all the time, trying to figure out if the loan makes sense, right? Well, this one tells me that if I give this person a new 30-year mortgage, in 5 months, they're going to recoup their closing costs. Okay, so it calculates it for you on a new 30, new rate, same term, a new 15, and a 30-year same payment. This is intended to be a phone call. I'd call my client, discuss this with them, and then I would follow up with an email by clicking this button right down here. Click that button, it takes you right to the refi tool mortgage review. You can click into it. And again, if you come to this point right here and you want to see what it looks like, just click on the thumbnail and you'll see it brings in, here's the refinancing information we spoke about earlier, your current mortgage details, your disclaimer will be there, and then the 3 more popular programs, the 30-year, the 15, and the 30-year same payment, which saves them time. So they take out a new 30-year loan, but they continue to make the payment they were making previously. And that saves them, in this case, it'd be 108 months it would save them on time, and $115,000 in interest, which is probably the more important part. And then of course, your information will populate at the bottom. This is a really cool tool to use, folks, as far as these hot alerts go. So when you see those rate savings alerts on your dashboard, just click on that last name and go ahead and check it out. See what you might be able to get for them.
So Earl, in the spirit of,
Time.
customer experience.
Okay.
You can imagine if you're really looking out for folks.
Oh yeah.
Say, hey, Susan, just want to let you know, I do monitor situation rates and it looks like there's this great opportunity for you. I just wanted to let you know, if you want to move forward, great, but this is what you can save if you took some action on this. Just, I'm here for you. And can you imagine getting that call, say they're really reaching out, of course, they want to write a mortgage, but it's going to save me so much money. And I really didn't realize that. Right. Presented in the right way. It's just a wonderful gift almost, to say, hey, here's what you can do. And just let me know if you want to talk more about it. But they'll be thrilled. And that's kind of a nice delight phone call. I wish some people would call me more often, offering to save me a bunch of money.
Exactly, right? That'd be great. So anyway, we present a lot of these opportunities for you, including the inquiry alert program. So if you guys are participating in that, if your company's participating, then you're going to get the inquiry alerts, the early payoff alerts. There's a first-time home buyer alert and a likely buyer alert that will pop up when people have their mortgage credit pulled with a competitor. We are actually a certified reseller of Experian data. When you get those types of alerts, we give you a lot of data on that. If you'll go to service alerts and click on this mortgage inquiry alerts, it'll pull out just those alerts that you're getting. If you click on one from this page, this is the type of data we provide. You'll see their estimated current income, their DTI, their current FICO score. And by the way, these aren't trigger leads, folks. We don't just send you alerts on anybody that has mortgage credit pulled. We actually run them against your minimum lending guidelines. So we know that they have at least a 620 credit score, no bankruptcies, no lates, no foreclosures, et cetera, et cetera. There's a whole list of criteria that we run them against before that we post them to your dashboard. So not only are they qualified in the market, we know that they appear to be qualified with you. Okay, so that's the type of thing we do with that. Really cool, and I just got to work this in because workflows is so new and it is so awesome. There is a workflow that you could create on your dashboard that will go off of one of these opportunity alerts. And to create these workflows, it's real simple. You drag it out and you drop it onto the canvas. Then you click into it and you can say which alert it is that you want to do. And in this case, the early payoff alert is probably one of the most important, because that could mean a chargeback. So I would want to take an action off of that trigger of sending myself a text message. And then I can actually take that text message and I can put let me click into it here. I can send it immediately. I can put my text number in here, my phone number, and I can put a message in here that says, Earl, you just got an EPO, give them a call. And then by adding these tokens down here at the bottom, I can add the contact's first name, their last name, I can add their email, their cell phone, their home phone, and I can call them from wherever I am to see what the deal is. Hey, how are you doing? I know my wife, she'll call them up and ask them to wait. So you've only got another 30 days, until this 6-month period is up. And I told her, I said, you don't have to be quite that honest, but you might want to call them and see what's going on. And if they do want to do a new loan, then you've got their information. You could do it for them right there. But these are really cool. So I had to slip in that little workflows thing, Steve. Okay, make sure you give it a name, by the way, and then save that workflow, create it up here. And then it'll show up under your workflows. Once it's over here under my workflows, you have to turn it on. Okay, so hit the pause button, just click OK, then I want to turn this on, and then you'll get the little play button up here. All right, and we're thinking about doing a number of templates on these, by the way, folks. So we'll probably be coming out with some.
We are, and we'll be talking more about workflows next month. Next level is all around team and collaboration, building strong team and collaboration. So we'll show you a lot more cool things around workflows.
Exactly. And then the last thing you wanted me to cover was client retention. We have, and this is where I wanted to go through, and we could talk a little bit about the PQP and kind of show a little bit of that. But I do want to show you that we do have campaigns in our library, and they're multimedia campaigns, means that they're more than just email campaigns. So this will be postcards and so forth. If you will type in post close under that, then you're going to see at least a 3-year campaign. Sometimes it's a 2-year, sometimes it's a 5-year program. I actually have a PDF on this. Let me pull it up for you so you can get an idea of what these look like. Okay, here's what the campaigns. This is our post-close stay in touch campaigns. You can initiate these individually, or your company may already be participating in this. So you may want to check with your company, and you can look at your marketing audit to see these too. But the 2-year program is $22 a client, but it sends out a number of different a thank you card, mortgage postcards, holiday postcards, birthday postcards. So you're participating in that direct mail piece that Steve was talking about. There's a 3-year program that just goes up by $8. And these, like I said, are the oversized, nice UV coated postcards. They're really slick. We actually started the business in the commercial printing business. So we have our own facility in the back, and we print and send these right here. There's a 5-year program that goes up just another $14 from that $30 one. So it's $44, and you're going to get 20 mortgage postcards, a thank you postcard, all the different holidays, the main holidays that happen, 5 borrower birthday postcards, annual mortgage review letter, and so forth. So, and to give you kind of some example of how nice these are. Now remember, these are large half sheet postcards. So these images are laid over. So this would be the back of the postcard. This would be the front of the postcard. All right. But this gives you kind of an idea of what these postcards might look like. Here's some of the 2-year postcards and so forth. So I do want to let you know that these are available through your site. Okay, you can send out postcards, and you can send one postcard to one contact for $1. But if you take advantage of these post close, then you can actually just assign these as your loans close to these different borrowers. Okay. All right, Steve, where do you want me to go next? Give a little peek to PQP. Steve?
Yeah, here I am. I'll go off of mute too. Yeah,
Oh,
let's
no,
do a little pre-qual prospects, if only because it's new, and as Earl suggested, we're now rolling it out to some of our early customers.
yeah.
It's really, really powerful feature because it's high intent and exclusive to LOs. So let's spend about 5 minutes just going through this, and then we'll wrap up.
I think I can do it in a couple minutes.
All right, you
Okay,
can
here we
do
go.
name that
So,
tune in 2 minutes.
because of our relationship with Experian and being certified resellers, we've taken on a special project with them called pre-qualified prospects. So this is where we can give you a marketing piece. And let me go to the campaigns library. And what I'm going to type in is I'm going to choose email as my drop down. This is the easiest way to navigate, by the way, through the library. And then I'm just going to type in pre-qual right there. And I'm going to search that out. So when this is live in your site, this is how you'll get to the pieces. The first piece that I want you to look at is this invitation email. Okay, this invitation email, I'm going to bring it up here for you. This you can send out to anybody in your database. We are here to make your home goals a reality. Hello, and it brings in their first name. Are you looking to purchase a new home or refinance your current one? Let us help you start the process of achieving your goals today. Just follow the link below to see if you can what you can qualify for. When they click this link, it takes them to another page, and I think I have the pre-qual page up over here. I had the pre-qual page up over here. Steve, you got it? Because I had it up someplace and I've lost it now. I can't find my pre-qual page. But anyway, it takes them to a landing page. Oh, here it is. I just found it. There it is. Okay, I'm going to bring it over here. That's why it was on a different browser. It takes them here. And when they fill out the information on the right-hand side, and it actually, if they come out of your contact database, it will auto-populate this information. Okay, all they have to do is come down and hit "I'm not a robot. I understand the terms," and I'm going to click this button to pre-qual. Okay, your information will exist over here, and when they hit this pre-qual button, the information on this form goes directly to Experian. Experian immediately renders a decision whether they are denied or whether they are approved. When they get that, and then you'll get notified as well. But then they get another email from us. Let me show you, or from you, that either tells them that, okay, we either need more information, and that's what this one would say. Okay, this one would be, we need more information. Thank you for your interest in getting pre-qual for a home mortgage. I have your information. We'll be reaching out to you shortly. I'm excited to talk to you about it, but they need more information. Okay, that would be on a denied. If they get an approval from Experian, then they get this one, the email with approval. And it just says, congratulations, I have great news. You know, you've been pre-qualified for a home mortgage. All right. Then the lead actually goes into your leads portal over here under pre-qualified prospects. And you'll see whether it's been denied or approved. You can literally click on the information and click on the name to go to their contact record. You can click on, I'm trying to remember where it is. So here it is, view. Click on view, and it'll give you the information that we got back from Experian. Okay, this is a really, really exciting program. With all those of you that have those rate savings alerts, I can see when that alert hits, setting up a workflow that will send out that welcome email. Okay, that welcome email that asks them to go there to be pre-qualified. They may not have thought about it, but that way you're automating more processes. There it is, Steve, 2 minutes.
Really good, Earl. And these are really reasonable. You buy them in bundles. The pre-qual itself is a service, and it costs on average about $18 per pre-qual. So you could send this out to hundreds of contacts of yours, but you only pay for people who've indicated, yeah, I really want to get pre-qualified.
Yeah.
And the fact that they've punched it, they've gone through it, boy, they have some real high intent, and you're the only one seeing that because it's your contact. And so super cost effective. I mean, it's not like trying to get leads from Zillow or all these other sources where everybody else sees them too. And so these are your contacts indicating, yeah, I have an interest here. I want to get going. So this is just a gold mine, and the ROI on this kind of service would be fantastic in terms of making sure you're ahead of everybody else and engaging with the folks that are in your unified database. So
yeah, exactly. Okay.
Good. Well, we're going to finish up here then and go to the last slide. Earl, why don't you walk everybody through their homework, and then we'll talk about our next session.
Sure. So the things that we've talked about today is we want you to go and just review your marketing content strategy. Go check out your IPCs, see what actually is going out. And you should be getting copies of those IPCs as they go out. But just know that other people in the transaction are getting them as well. The marketing concierge, it's important that you go in there, make sure you're set up. If you're not, reach out to customer support. We'll help you get there. All right, we really will. So review that marketing content strategy. Also, those of you that want to just send out a one-off piece, if you haven't done it before, call customer support. We'll walk you through it, how to do the search, how to market to that result, and so forth, and which piece to send. Your automations, okay? Make sure that your marketing content is set up in the concierge, and then also try playing with workflows a little bit. I think you have a lot of fun with that, just to automate your systems a little bit more. And then use those IPCs. You know, you can turn them off if you want to. There are some coaches that want you to make calls instead, and you could do that with our system as well. It's a feature that's in Rainmaker, which we'll talk about at another time. But it lists all your parties to the transaction, and you can make those in-process calls. Status update calls, what we call them. But the IPCs, at least something is going out on your behalf, keeping people in the loop. And then talk to your company manager. If you guys are interested in doing the pre-qualified prospects feature, there is a little bit of vetting out that needs to happen. There's no cost to the vetting process, but we need to know that you're a real brick and mortar building. And so Experian will set that up with your manager. And then, like Steve said, you can buy credits. You can buy bundles of credits. And the system even lets you know when you're getting low on those credits. So that's kind of cool too. And then the client retention marketing. If you guys haven't, if your company's not participating in one of our post-close campaigns on every loan, then think about doing that. You know, think about going in and checking out those direct mail pieces, and maybe assign a couple of them to some of your favorite clients and see how it works out. I think you'll find that you'll get a lot better retention by doing that. Okay.
Real quick, Sue had a question about PQP and sort of who pays for the Experian poll. That cost is baked into the $18. So that's the only fee that you're really paying for that service is when they push the button. That Experian poll is paid for in the $18 per.
On the pre-qual program, that's correct. Now, those of you that are taking advantage and participating in the Mortgage Inquiry Alerts program, that is a company, we build a company. Different companies do it different ways. Some of them will build a loan officer, some of them will build a branch, some of them pick up the whole cost of it because the ROI is so huge. Our biggest company, the one my wife works for, they're getting a 4,800% ROI off the Inquiry Alert program. It's unbelievable. And so they don't even charge their loan officers. They just let it roll, you know, because it's paying for everything for them. So it depends on Sue, how your company is set up.
It does, but with PQPs, because the way they're set up is once it's set up, an individual loan officer can choose to do it or not.
Exactly.
You just buy a bundle of 10 or whatever, spend a couple $100, and the system will tell you when you start to run out. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, don't you want to know when people want to move forward?
It's huge. It's huge.
Great money spent.
Awesome.
And like Steve said, you don't pay for the emails you send out. You only pay for the people who reply and respond by hitting that button and going through the process with Experian. So
yeah, you only pay when you get something of value, and that's our attitude of how we build things at Unify.
Exactly.
So we hope you got a lot out today. If you've got any questions, feel free to email us. The invitations, came from Earl. You obviously call, our client support team is there all the time to help. So don't be bashful about sending an email or picking up the phone and calling, because maybe you get your question answered just like that. Our next session is on August 12th. There we're going to talk about building strong teams, collaboration. We're going to go into more in workflows. We're going to talk about Rainmaker. We're going to talk a little bit about the mobile app, which you have. If you haven't got the mobile app, pull it up. It's really cool because it puts Unify in the palm of your hand.
Yep.
If you need help with that, give us a call too. But that's the next time we'll get together on Next Level. I do want to send one thing out here on some of the additional videos, and I know we put them in the invites, but if you check chat here, I'm going to give everybody a URL. You can also see this in your Unify system on the homepage screen, but the unifycrm.com/best practices is a video library of a lot of different features that are available to you, and it's a quick video training. There's also some other video trainings, as well as the ability to sign up for live trainings. And live trainings are great. When you go in and click on those, you can get on the schedule and you can work with Patrick Nalen on our team, does a lot of those. I think Earl, you even do a few of those as well.
Yeah.
can actually just walk through specifically what you're stuck with so that you get unstuck.
Yes.
And again, it's all about for us making sure you all are successful in growing your business. And we know if you do that, you know, you'll love using Unify. And you may not tell other people because it's your secret weapon, but still in all, we just revel in your success. So that's all we had for today. Thank you, Earl. Appreciate that. And everybody, we'll see you at our next one. Take care.
All right, guys. Thanks for being here.
Bye-bye.
Talk soon.